Hello again, guys, and welcome back to the Midnight Oil Racing League. And this is a new season. This is now season 3. This is the first round. We're at Alsace village. We've got another two 25-minute races for you this evening. So without further ado, let's get into the first one. Thomas lines up on pole with Blood Diamond in second place. Wendy will line up in third. Dan Bailey starts in fourth. We have Pickle in fifth. Chuck is in sixth. Vexed in seventh. Chand in eighth. We have Asbo in ninth, and Mawson lines up in 10th place. So if you guys not being able to make it for the first race, Thomas lining up on pole on the hard tyre. He actually managed to take the title last season, so he took the crown away from Blood Diamond, who's sat there in second place on the grid at the moment. So without further ado, let's get into this first one. So Thomas getting quite a good getaway there. Wayne G comes off the inside to Dan Bailey behind. Vex making a few positions off the start. He's up into 5th place now. Bit of a concertina there through turn 1. Chan getting shuffled down to 8th now. Mawson, in fact Asbo looking to get the move done on Ice Chan. Looking up the inside now. I think Chan's going to look for the inside through the next right-hander, and he does. And Mawson managing to squeeze through there as well. Mawson up into 9th now. Ice Chan with a bit of a moment. We have Thomas now squeezing Vexed. Wants to try and get that 4th place. But still unable to find his way through. We have Vex now chasing Dan Bailey, looking very racy indeed. Oh no, and it looks like there was a little bit of contact there. We're going to have a quick look at that. So I think if we go on board with Vex, we can maybe see what happened. You see, so Dan Bailey braking a lot earlier than Vex, and Vex just clipping the rear of Dan, which has sent him into a slide, which he's managed to catch, but it's completely unsettled Vex's car as well. Vex goes off and then spins it just to insult to injury. So Dan will rejoin in 4th place at the minute. Thomas manages to move up into 3rd. Dan now being hounded by Pickle and Chuck there in the background, although Chuck loses a position to Mawson. Up the inside there goes Mawson. Dan holding that position from Pickle. In fact, Mawson managing to get a move done there on Pickle. So Mawson up into 5th place now. But Thomas still there in 3rd. We have Blood Diamond still in 2nd place, and Wayne G still leading the race. So Wayne G has gone for the Corvette this season. No, it's actually the Dodge Viper. Blood Diamond in the Mercedes AMG. We have Thomas in the Ferrari 296. Dan Bailey also in an AMG. I'm not sure which one he's in. He might be in the 16. He's even in the 60. I think it's the 18 or 20, isn't it? Pickle in the 911 GT3 992 variant. Chuck in the Peugeot RCZ. Ice Chand in the Nissan GTR, and that's Asbo, sorry. Asbo in the BMW Z4, as Mawson does look for the move on him. Mawson in the GR Supra. And then we have Vexed in the Citroen GT, looking to try and get his head back into the race. He's got a bit of time to make up, though, to the cars ahead. See what we can do. He's going to have to get his head down. Dan Bailey still holds that 4th place to Pickle behind in 5th. Oh, Mawson managed to make his way up there, so Mawson must have had a moment somewhere. I think it was up the hill, wasn't it, on the approach to the final chicane near the start-finish. Very cool livery. Spotted by Jason there. Thomas on the racing hards, started on pole, now down to third place. But them hards will come into their own later on in the race. There is a mandatory pit stop in this one. And I think with the increased fuel this season, I think everyone's going to be having to pit for a splash and dash anyway. So Dan Bailey still comfortably in fourth place at the moment, holding off Pickle, holding off Ice Chan. Needs to try and get back onto the back of Thomas. Overall, actually not losing too much time after that incident with Vexed. I think the stewards could get involved there. Vexed, I think, just a little bit over-eager to try and maybe get a move done, but the car just became a bit unsettled. Or maybe it's wider than he thought it was. That was Pickle. Pickle looks on the move around the outside of Dan. Dan now down into fifth place. So Pickle looking quite strong at the moment in the Porsche. Dan is, however, on the hard tyres. Pickle on the mediums, on the faster tyre compound at the moment. Well, actually, Pickle's caught up to Thomas, has a look around the outside, moves up into third place, and Dan Bailey moves through as well. What's happened to Thomas? I think Thomas is having issues. I think he's had some mechanical... Oh no, Dan! Dan off into the barrier. That's unlucky, Dan. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I've just gone back a lap, haven't I? I just wanted to see what happened there. So here we go, we're not far from where we were. Pickle having little looks at the inside there. Dan Bailey still defending really well. Oh, Chuck goes a little bit deep, almost loses the rear of that Peugeot. He's going to lose the position to Chan. Chan moves up into sixth place. So here we go. Here's the... Is this where we saw the move? I think we're actually still a lap behind. Or a lap ahead. I think we're actually a lap behind. I think we're going to see it on the next lap. So Wayne G currently with the fastest lap, 1:59.8. Look how close they are getting to that barrier through the final turn. Super close. So I think here on this lap is where we saw the move come from. There we go, Pickle up the inside there. Dan Bailey has to sit behind for the minute. Then we saw... So if we see what happened to Thomas, we'll have a look at that other battle in just a second, because we saw Thomas having a few issues. Oh, here we go, there, it's slowing down. tries to move out of the way. Almost gets sandwiched by Dan and Pickle. So Pickle covers off the inside line. Dan Bailey looking for the switchback. That's a beautiful switchback there. Tiny bit of contact. And Dan's off into the barrier. What happened there? I'm not sure what happened there. I don't think that contact caused it, to be fair. That was the slightest touch. That's really strange. And now Mawson gets the move done on Thomas. Chuck up into 5th place. We have Pickle being overtaken by Ice Chand. Ice Chand up into 3rd. And the Ferrari of Thomas looking like he's trying to make a comeback now. We can see Asbo just in the background there. Thomas up the inside there of Mawson. Forces him a little bit wide. He's managed to keep the car on track. Didn't have a moment. Didn't have too much of a moment. Is he going to have a go back up the inside through this left-hander? No. Thomas will have the inside on this right-hander. On to the back of Chuck now. Oh, big moment there from Thomas. Massive snap from that Ferrari. As I think Pickle and Chand are actually having a battle ahead as well for 3rd places. Mawson tries to have a go once again up the inside there on the Ferrari, not quite able to make it stick. Meanwhile, Chuck manages to get a bit of breathing space over the 2 squabbling behind him. Pickle still looking to try and take that position away from Ice Chand. Ice Chand on the racing hards, which are probably going to feel a little bit better than the mediums at this stage. So Wayne G too fast out of the front on the racing mediums. Blood Diamond not far behind, a couple of seconds behind at this stage, but a nice bit of breathing space over Chand behind in 3rd. He's on the racing hards. So Chand really being pressured now by Pickle. Can Pickle manage to set one up through these last couple of turns? I think he's just going to have to try and stay close and maybe go for a move into turn 1. Will Chand cover it off though? Chand flashing his hazards. Pickle does look for the move around the outside, but can't quite get it done. Almost goes a little bit deep there. Almost opened the door to Chuck. Sounded like we could hear squeezing tyres in the background. I'm not sure if somebody's had a moment somewhere. But I think maybe somebody has. Was it Dan Bailey? I think Dan Bailey having a moment again. Vexed has nearly caught him now. Vexed is going to be perfectly mindful not to hit the rear of Dan's car coming through this turn, and they both get it right this time. Or Vex gets it right this time. Dan comes out unscathed. When are the first pit stops going to come? We're only coming up for 10 minutes in. Asbo on to the back of Mawson now. So there is a cluster of cars from 3rd back to 8th that are all very close still on track. So we could still see a few moves being made. So Vex trying to put the pressure onto Dan. Oh, Dan with a huge moment. He's off onto the grass, manages to not spin the car. So he's facing the right way and can just rejoin the track and carry on, but he has lost a shed load of time there. And Vext is now into free air once again, but still with quite a big margin to try and get onto the back of Asbo in the Z4. Asbo, who was quite close to Mawson, in fact is still quite close to Mawson, almost looking for the move there. Hanging off the rear bumper of the GR Supra. That Z4 actually looks pretty quick. I think Asbo's a little bit tentative about his choice cars for the season, but I think actually that's not a bad choice, Asbo. I think just stick with it, buddy. I think it's going to be really good around some tracks. Some others it might not be as good at. So Thomas is now in 6th place. He started on pole. He's obviously had a few mechanical issues throughout the race. I think his wheel was playing up. He was losing feedback and had no feel in his pedals. Pickle is now in 5th. He's been overtaken by Chuck. Chuck is now trying to put the pressure on to Chand in 3rd. The RCZ is a good little car. As Chuck has a look up the inside there, almost manages to get it done, pulls alongside momentarily, has to slot himself back into the slip. And again gets shown the long way round. Will he be able to make it stick this time? Can't quite get it done. Chand driving a really good race at the moment. He's managed to make up multiple positions and looks like he's actually started to create a bit of a gap back to Chuck now. The pressure momentarily off. So Blood Diamond in a bit of no man's land at the moment. When will he decide to pit? Wayne G still out at the front. No pressure at the moment. He's out for a Sunday drive. Making it look easy in the Viper. So Blood Diamond can probably start to see that gaggle of cars behind him. Oh, as Thomas has a big moment up the hill. Can Chand hold on? Have them hards got enough left in them to be able to keep the guys behind him before the pit stop? Obviously there is a pit stop in this one. I think we see the first of the... Yeah, so Vexed is into the pits. Favours the undercut. Maybe that's a little bit too early. Trying to make up a little bit of time to the cars ahead, if he can, but he has got his work cut out. So I think Pickle currently sat where he qualified, still being hounded by Thomas in that Ferrari. Putting the hards through their paces at the moment. Will he be able to get a move done though? Will it have enough grip to be able to get past Pickle? Will he have to force him into an error? The gap back to Mawson, a couple of seconds, or a second and a half. We see a few more people head to the pits now, start lap 9. Wayne G, Pickle, Thomas and Mawson all stay out for another lap, favouring track position. So Wayne G and Pickle definitely have got enough in the tank for another lap or two. Thomas has used a bit more, goes up the inside though, manages to take second place away from Pickle. So definitely still plenty of grip left on them hards, or in them hards. Can Pickle return the favour? Mawson on very heavily worn mediums now. He's actually currently got the fastest lap as well, 154.4. That will surely change with the lighter fuel loads. But still unable to reel the top 3 in. And Thomas unable to break away from Pickle as it looks like he's almost about to run out of fuel. Makes it into the pit. Pickle will go in, as will Mawson. So Chand will surely become new race leader. In fact, Wayne G actually emerges some distance ahead of everybody else. So unless he has a massive moment somewhere, he's surely got this race sewn up now. So Chand will have to settle for second place at the minute. Still being hounded by Blood Diamond though. Managed to jump Blood in the pit. Pickle currently 4th. We have Thomas now in 5th on the mediums. Mawson on the racing softs. What can he do on the softs? Can he close the gap to Thomas? That Supra is no slouch. And neither's Mawson. Chuck, some distance back now from Mawson, but he's got a lovely bit of breathing space over Dan Bailey back in 8th place. Dan Bailey who's managed to recover to 8th. After having that moment earlier, so the undercut didn't work for Vexed. Maybe he's at another moment somewhere. He should be a lot closer to Asbro than he is. So I think he has. I think he's had a moment somewhere. Maybe pitting a lap too early. And softs are going to be pretty bad come the end of the race. So Wayne G, we've not really seen a lot of him in this race. Just kept it consistent at the front. That Viper also a bit of a powerhouse. So Chand now with the fastest lap, 153.7, but we just saw Wayne G putting in the 3 temps purple sector. So may be able to take the fastest lap here as well. We'll have a look for some battles in a second. Just see what it's saying as he comes through the next split. Still purple by 7 tenths. I think this may turn into the fastest lap of the race. Them softs definitely up to temperature now. They're on the cusp of starting to lose grip. Plenty of meat still left on the rears. And there you go, it's a 152.7. So Blood Diamond really putting the work in to try and make a move on Chand, still unable to find his way through. And Chand is on the softs now. In fact, Jason coming under increasing pressure now from Pickle, behind in 4th place. Pickle also on a set of softs. I'm probably also mindful that they've got Thomas in the Ferrari not far behind as well, wanting to come and join the party. Oh, is Blood Diamond going to lose the position here? Pickle's looking very racy indeed through the big bank in. Has a look around the outside. Couldn't find a way through. And Blood Diamond covers off the inside line. Driving really well at the moment. Can he manage to keep Pickle behind him? Unable to find a way past Chand. Or is he going to... Oh no! Nah, Blood Diamond! Just a bit of a moment through the final turn there. That has freed Pickle to start trying to re-challenge Ice Chand. Thomas is back up to 4th place now. Moulton moves through into 5th. Blood Diamond gets the car going, but he's in 6th. He's going to lose that position to Chuck, surely. Chuck just manages to breeze around the outside there into turn 1. Takes 6th place. Blood Diamond still well within reach. Just has to stick with that Peugeot now. Just under a minute left in this race. It's going to be 14 laps, could be 13, 14 laps. So Vexed has managed to find his way past Asbo. Asbo down in 10th now, but somehow Dan Bailey manages to extend that lead over the cars behind, but unable to get onto the back of Blood Diamond and Chuck. In 7th and 6th. So Moulton has lost sight now of Thomas, Pickle and Chand. Pickle almost into the back of Chand there. That's compromised him. That's almost opened the door there to Thomas, who went to have a go, but couldn't quite get it done. And we're going to have to go on board with Wayne G, because it is indeed the final lap, and he is going to take the checkered flag in the first race of the season. GG, Wayne G. Good race, dude. So Ice Chant in the end. Will he take that? So, oh, who was that? Thomas drove off into the barrier. Ice Chant takes second place. Pickle will take third. Thomas. Come on, Thomas. Mawson will move through up into fourth now. Thomas limps that Ferrari across the line in fifth. Chuck is going to take sixth. We've got Blood Diamond in seventh. Dan Bailey. I think he's just going to write this one off, isn't he? He's had a bit of an unlucky race in this one. First being taken out by Vexed and then had a couple of moments. He finishes in 8th place. Vexed couldn't quite find his way back into the race, pit a little bit early, finishes in 9th in the end. Asbo will take 10th. Well, that was the first race, guys. We've got that one out of the way. I will see you in the next one. Good night.